UCLA at Oregon State. Corvallis, baby. Both teams coming off really nice wins. I know people might look, oh, they get up 40 points to Cal. Oregon State did. Yes, they also scored a touchdown pretty late. I mean, Oregon State was in control of that game the entire time, and DJU looked like a monster. Now, here's the thing. UCLA's defense is legit, and we just saw it. We just saw it on full display when they shut down Cam Ward, who we've been talking about all year, being fantastic, and he still is a really good player. He still is fantastic. I'll put him in the fantastic category, but UCLA shut him down. So, what happens in Corvallis? I'll give it to you.
Again, I do think home field matters here so much. I think Corvallis is very hard to go in to win. If you're Dante Moore, who, yes, we've all been really impressed with, and yes, I do hold him to a higher standard than most true freshman quarterbacks because he was a 5-star, right? Top 2 player in the country, depending on where you looked, right? And he's been very good. I think he's been very good. I'm kind of waiting for them to unleash the reins on him, let those playmakers do their thing. Is it the O-line that's, struggling with them? Does Oregon State have the D-line to take advantage of that? I think they do. We didn't really see that against Washington State a bunch, but against other teams we have. And in Corvallis, I think this Oregon State team is kind of a wagon. We saw that against Utah, right? They dominated them for 4 quarters. And then last week, you really saw what DJU was capable of when he needed to, and he didn't. Now, I do think, like you said, USLA's defense is fantastic. Very, very, very good. But I'm ready to go. Give me Damian Martinez. Give me DJU. I'll take Oregon State in the points here. And continue to ride Jonathan Smith here.
Yeah, and in every single game that they've played, it doesn't matter who they're playing. They've played some really good defenses this year. They've played on the road this year, right? But obviously they're at home right now. But I'm just saying, like, in every single game that they played this year, they've been able to run the ball effectively. Even Utah's front seven. Now, granted, their defensive line's a little bit banged up, Utah's is, but they were dominating up front, every team, right? And Oregon State was able to go in there and run the ball with, Fenwick, Martinez, obviously, stud. So I'm riding here with you. I'll give me Oregon State. Give me Oregon State and the points -3.5. I believe that you picked them, right? Or have you not made a pick yet? Okay. And then, yeah, but dude, and the thing is, we're gonna say this a lot. We say this a lot in these Pac-12 games. The winner of this game, obviously is a really good team, but that does not mean that the loser of this game is a bad team. No, let's not. If one of these teams drops to 4-2 or 5-2, whatever it is, I think Oregon State would drop 5-2. UCLA would drop 4-2. I don't know which teams have had buys, but either way, the loser of this game is not a bad football team. And now, granted, the loser of this game, their chances of making the Pac-12 championship dwindles pretty low, right? In that Pac-12 environment with 2 losses in conference, that's a tough hole to dig yourself out of right there. So in terms of like actually being a good football team, right? Losing, we used to be good, lose this game and be a good football team. But in terms of like actual conference championship implication, playoff implication, right? I mean, this game, it's kind of win or go home almost. So, why do we need the playoffs if we have games like this that are basically a playoff game, So
Exactly.
But no one's talking about it as a playoff game. But this is kind of do or die right here for both of these teams. And yeah, give me Dante Moore. I rode with him on the road before against Utah. I just can't do it again. I can't do it. Yeah, give me Oregon State. Give me Oregon State and the Beavs, who are looking awesome right now.
I do think a path to victory for UCLA, because we both talked about how Oregon State was going to win. I do think path to victory is, well, first of all, DJU makes his mistakes that he's made in big games all throughout his career, right? And that's no slight against him. Like we've seen it before, and it sounds like he's corrected it. But then they played Washington State, and then it wasn't great. Even though I thought he played well, he made that couple, maybe two mistakes, and it really cost him. If DJU is the one making mistakes, then it's not Dante Moore, and Dante Moore's O-line keeps him upright. They're able to run the football. They're able to control clock and control tempo. Then obviously that leads a much better path to UCLA. And if you get Oregon State out of their game script, having to pass the ball, come from behind, and you let those pass rushers and that defensive line for UCLA really get after them, that's going to change. Absolutely, how this game ends up as, and some of the big plays that can shift the game into one direction or the other. But yeah, like you said, we're both taking Oregon State. Good point there was don't 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 think less of either of those teams, especially if it's a close game. Right, both these teams. One of these teams is going to drop in the rankings, in the AP rankings. They should not drop in your own personal, ratings on who's great in terms of better football teams than the other ones. But yeah, one of these teams has to win, which is the best part about college football is, you play the games and someone loses, someone wins. But gonna be upset for one of these teams because we both like these teams. We've covered a lot of these teams and we'll continue to cover them as they get into Pac-12 play. But yeah.